Do you have a lot of leaves to pick up? Well, obviously we do, and I recently purchased this Agri-Fab leaf vacuum to go behind my John Deere mower. So that's what I'm going to do a review of today. This is a little bit of an older model. I don't really know how old, but the ones that you can buy today are very similar, if not exactly the same. I'm going to be talking about the features and things I like, things I don't like. And just a little background, I did buy this used back in, I don't know, late spring, early summer. And so I've just recently started using it some. I've had a few problems, but nothing serious. It has worked very well overall. So let's get into the details. Okay, for starters, I'm going to talk about the problems that I've had with this particular piece of equipment. The biggest problem I've had, unfortunately, was self-inflicted. Yeah, my own fault. I bought this machine back in, like I said, late spring, early summer, but I left it sitting without gas in the gas tank, and the gas tank is metal. I know now that's a really bad idea. If you got a plastic tank, that's fine, because your gas doesn't get old. But if you got a metal tank, you leave it empty, it's going to rust. That rust clogs up the carburetor, and that's been my problem. I've cleaned this carburetor out so many times I could about take it apart and put it back together blindfolded. But what I did to finally remedy the problem, and I did go through a procedure of getting the rust out of the tank and cleaning it, but still, I'm still getting a little debris. So I'll show you a picture of this right here. A little bit of redneck engineering here. I got extra long fuel line. I ran it outside of where it should be. I put a fuel filter here, run it back inside, and that fuel filter is catching the crud now, and I'm not having any trouble with the carburetor getting stopped up. So it looks terrible, but it works great. In time, I probably will be able to take that off and go back to the regular fuel line, because I eventually get the rust and crud out of the gas tank. The only other real problem that I've had is this rail right here is just too low. I got a flatbed trailer that I haul this from different places, and when you come up the ramp and go to the level part of the trailer, that right there catches right here. And it's really difficult to get it on and off the trailer because that part is just too low. I've also had a place in my yard where there's a little bit of a hill. I can't go over that hill because the top of the hill catches right there. It's just too low for the distance between the wheels of the trailer and the wheels of the tractor. That's just too low. It does catch on things and it causes trouble. One part that I have that's missing, there's supposed to be a bar that sticks right in here. I'll show you a close-up of that up in the corner, that reaches out, that holds the vacuum hose up off the ground some. Now my vacuum hose drags the ground a little bit. You'll see that in the videos in a little bit. So either I'm going to have to buy the part to replace that or make my own. I'll probably make my own, but that'll be in the future. I'm not going to worry about it this year because I got leaves to get up, and that's top priority right now, and it does work the way it is. Things I like. This Briggs & Stratton engine has started very easily. I mean, except for when the carburetor was clogged up. It usually starts on the first, second, maybe a third pull, even when it's cold. I'll show you that here in a little bit. The chute works great. Little fabric thing here that you can take off and just slide it back. Obviously it doesn't come off real easy, but once you take the back door off, you can slip this off. There's a little foot pedal down here. I'll show you a close-up of that. You push that and the trailer will dump. Now ordinarily when the trailer's full of leaves, it'll dump on its own, so when you step on that thing, it just goes. But I like that feature. It works very well. Now I'm going to pull this back up. Now I'm going to go around to the back and we'll show you how the back latch works for the back door. It's relatively easy to take off, and I'll be showing you it being full later after I vacuum some leaves. but it's very easy. So let's move around to the back now. Okay, here we are at the back. You got a latch like this on both sides. You can flip those up. You got a little pin here, you pull that out. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that on both sides. Flip that up, and the back door just comes off just like that, and you'll be able to dump your leaves. Now I'll show you dumping leaves a little later, but that's how you get the back door off. Goes back on the same way. Really very simple. You might think that this would be difficult with it full of leaves, but it really isn't. One thing I forgot to mention about earlier is this chute here for grinding limbs, the chipper part of this thing. If you buy one of these Agri-Fab leaf vacuums on the used market, you'll have a hard time finding one that's got this feature on it, because if you buy a new one, it is an extra feature that costs a bit, and most people don't get it. But this one does have this feature. It's something I really wanted. But when you're picking your leaves up, if you come across limbs that, you know, you can pick them up and you can throw them off in the woods or whatever. In this case, you just pick them up, you throw them in there when it's running, it grinds them up, they go in the back, and you just got more chips and stuff for your mulch pile or your flower beds for mulch or whatever. So I really like that feature. All right, now let's get this thing going. Okay, I'll show you a close-up view of this area right here, but basically I'm going to pull this little white tab back that chokes it. This black one at the bottom turns the gas off and on. You push it that away to turn the gas on. That allows gas to flow into the carburetor. It's been on, so the carburetor is full of gas. This lever here, if you push it all the way back that way, it stops it. This way is full throttle. So I'm going to put it close to full throttle, and this thing hasn't been started since yesterday sometime. So let's see if this little Briggs & Stratton, let's see if it makes a liar out of me and it's hard to start, or if it cranks right up. So here we go, first pull today. Let this thing come to a stop so you can hear me better. Now, one thing I didn't do after showing you how the cart dumps is put this back in place. I'm just going to pull this back up. If you don't do that, you just get a lot of blowout in this area, makes a mess. Now, two things I will warn you about. These things are loud, and they make a lot of dust. I wouldn't run this thing without hearing protection and some kind of respirator. Now, I'm using this respirator today. It's a 3M brand that I bought off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. But in the future, I'm going to be doing a comparison video of different respirators that I bought. And today you may see me, or you may not, using different ones just as I'm testing them. But if you subscribe to my channel, click like and all those things, you're more likely to find my review of respirators that will be coming in the future. But I bought, I think I got 3 or 4 different types that I will be reviewing. So keep a watch for that. And like I said, if you subscribe to my channel, click like, you're more likely to see those show up in your YouTube feed. All right, now I'm gonna crank this thing back up, get my ear protection on, my respirator on, and I'm gonna show you getting some leaves up. Now our cart's full of leaves and it's time to dump it. I can tell it's full of leaves because I'll start getting blowback around this cover here. So I'm going to slide that back. And this particular time, I'm just going to show you dumping the cart. A lot of times I just take the back door off and just pull it out with a rake or something. Sometimes I dump it, just depending on where I'm at. So we'll pull the two pins, flip these two latches up, do the same thing on the other side, pull the pin, flip the latch up. I don't want to lose my pin. There it is. And then the door comes off. And as you can see, there's a full trailer of leaves. All right. Yeah. Now, as I said, in this case, I'm going to dump the trailer, but sometimes I just take a rake and rake them out, just like a garden rake or something, or maybe even a pitchfork sometimes. So if I just take my foot and hit the latch over here, it does that. I usually shake it just to get them started a little bit better. But they get packed in there pretty good. And then I can just pull my mower up some and they'll slide out a little bit. But most of the time I find the rake works better. All right, let's try that. Okay, these are stuck in there pretty tight. I guess I run a little too long. They're not wanting to dump. So I'm just going to get my rake and rake them out. At this point, I've gotten most of my leaves up. As you can see, I went around my trees and a few things with my leaf blower because with that attachment to the back of my lawnmower, I can't get as close to things as I normally would when I mow. But anyway, I took my leaf blower and I blew off our deck and the back patio over here and around all the trees and stuff. And now I'll take my mower with the leaf vacuum and I'll start getting the rest of these leaves up. This is my second load. I've already pulled the bottom pins out and opened the other latch on the other side. But I'd just like to say, when I did when I used the John Deere baggers that came with, or this was before the John Deere, you saw my backyard. I would have been lucky to make one round all the way around, and those two bags on my John Deere bagger would be full. I'm probably 2/3 or 3/4 of the way done with my backyard, and this is only the second time I filled this thing up. So it makes a substantial difference, and it's a real time saver. Now this time I didn't let it get quite as full as before. So let's see how it dumps this time. A lot better than before. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull forward because I'm on a hill quite a bit, but let's see if I can pull forward. And my neighbors that are getting trees cut, they're running their chipper now, so that's the noise in the background. Well, they didn't all fall out, but a lot of them did. As you can see, there's not much left, so I'm gonna get my rake and finish that up. My plan is to cover this whole hill right here with a good thick layer of mulched up leaves, because we have a trouble with washing down through here with all our trees. This area doesn't get enough sun to grow grass. So we're just going to cover it with mulched up leaves to stop the wash in this area. So that's my point, or my reason for putting them here. So let me get my rake. Okay, there we go, empty, just that easy. So obviously if you're on a little bit of a hill or even level ground, it dumps a lot easier when you try to dump it and stuff comes out better. The first time the angle just didn't work for me. But generally it's pretty easy to empty. All right, let's go get some more. And off we go. Now for my final thoughts on this Agri-Fab leaf vacuum system. I really like it. I wish I had bought one years ago. But to give you a little information about what I've learned using it and things of that nature, I really need to get the rod that goes in here to help hold this tube up off the ground, because if I keep dragging it, I'm going to wear it out, and these things are expensive. I've noticed that the wheels, they got grease fittings. They were greased when I started. I've already done one yard that has a lot of trees. I've done the front yard here one time a week ago. It needs it again. Sorry, there's a deer crossing the road down here. Cool. But anyway, you saw me do the backyard, and it looks like those wheels already need greasing again. So pay attention to your wheels and keep them greased so they don't wear out. I really like the chute for running sticks in. That saved me a lot of time running stuff down, throw them in the woods or on a brush pile or something. Just when you get a little stick, you just throw it in there and it's gone. If you get one of these things, do yourself a favor, get ear protection and a respirator. This thing is loud, makes a lot of dust, and if you don't, you'll be going, huh, the rest of the day, because you ain't gonna hear anything, and you're gonna be coughing and sneezing and hacking because your sinuses are all clogged up. So, you know, take care of yourself. Get respirator and ear protection. It's really needed with this thing. The unit, normally if you buy a new one, it comes with an adapter to fit on the mower deck. Now I'm using the adapter that came with my John Deere leaf vacuum. Up to here is part of the John Deere. This hose will fit right into it. I found that very convenient. Had a little bit of trouble with it wanting to fall out. I put a little screw right here. It's about 1/4 of an inch long or so. And I can wiggle this hose out past that without taking the screw out. So that's worked pretty good if I had a clog here, which happens occasionally, especially if your leaves are a little wet. But I can pull it out without taking the screw out, so that has worked well. My biggest complaint, like I mentioned before, is that rod down through there underneath. It's just too low. It has caused problems on several occasions. Getting it on and off my trailer was the biggest thing. A little rise in my yard over there, I couldn't go over it. I got hung up. That long stretch, that middle at the bottom, is just too low. That is really my only complaint about this tool. One thing I would warn you about, as you may see behind me, we got some stumps and stuff in the yard. When you're using this thing, be careful when you go in close to things. That chute over there can rub up against things. it can hit things and cause trouble. At least once or twice I had the back wheel hit one of our stumps and it tilted the thing, the trailer over. And I was watching, so I caught it before it got too far, but if you weren't careful, it could flip your trailer over, which would likely flip your mower over, which is a really bad situation. So be real careful when you're going around things that you don't get too close to things. That's about it. It dumps good when I've been on level ground or maybe just a little bit uphill. I can hit the latch to dump the thing, pull the mower forward, and most everything will just slide right out. Places that you've seen me dumping stuff was not optimal and it was a little more difficult, but on level ground or slight uphill, it dumps really easily. The motor has run great, little Briggs & Stratton. You saw me, I pulled it one time. I've stopped it a bunch of times today for various reasons, and I don't think I've had to pull it twice a single time all day. It just starts. Excuse me. Like I said earlier, the only problem I've had is the self-inflicted one. No, that's the only problem of any significance was the self-inflicted problem of the rust in the gas tank, and that was my fault. So I give it a big old thumbs up. And so at this point, I'd just like to say, if you appreciate my video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, those things. It really helps me to continue doing more videos like this for you. So at this point, just like to say thank you for visiting. Do it yourself with Wayne, and we hope you have a great day.